So a lot of people kind of ask what I do. It's a funny subject, that, really, because you could categorize it as so many things. But I guess in a nutshell, it's probably I help people get momentum, because that's something that the world's lacking. The ability to get the ball rolling, to start and keep going. We lack consistency in this because the world's full of distractions. We've got social media for that, we've got sugar, food, alcohol, porn, we've got all different kinds of things that are going to distract us from the reality of our life. A lot of people can't get started because they just choose the distractions all the time. They're consistently falling off the wagon. They're always starting on Monday. By the time Thursday comes, even Wednesday, they fell again. And then it's time to restart again on Monday. So they overthink the process all the time. So the overthinking becomes more of where the focus is rather than actually getting momentum. So I like to think of myself as a little bit of a momentum expert. Kind of help people rationalize their overthinking, because as a self-confessed overthinker, I'm very much the king of that. I've spent several years over the past in anxiety, states of fear, overwhelm, guilt, regret, which never ever helps push you forward. I think you've got to understand that those thoughts that we're having come from past beliefs. They've happened in the past. There's nothing we can do about them, but we can't seem to move forward from them because we're so attached to them. But what kind of happens is we have these thoughts of regret, of guilt, of pressure, frustration, whatever it is, and it consumes us so much that it becomes part of our identity. So it's easy enough to distract when you are attached to that identity, because we don't want to uncover the stuff that's really holding us back, because it's scary. If we were to really be true to ourselves and open up on what's really going on inside this head, it'd scare the shit out of us. That's why we're so distracted with TV and porn and social media and alcohol, because it changes the state. It gets us out of this thinking place where the overthinking gets too much, right? What do? I go to food, I go to alcohol, I go to whatever to help me distract. Whereas the real true answers to overthinking and overwhelm and the worry is actually in here. It's actually assessing where we went wrong and how we change that. And I like to be the guy who can kind of extract that information a little bit from people, because I don't have the answer for everybody. Everyone's seeking the external answer. The answer is actually inside our own head. It's just we're too terrified to go there because of what's going to come out. It's really, really frightening because of the uncertainty behind it. The reason that we self-sabotage is because there's a massive amount of certainty in that. We know exactly what we're going to get. We're very, very good at doing it, and it's easy to do. So we know if we fall off the wagon, say for example, on a Thursday, Friday, and we go out and drink, we know the outcome of that. We know that we're gonna feel good for a short period of time. We might wake up with a hangover, and then we can have some food to sedate that again. And then we can watch too much TV and isolate ourselves from the world, and then we'll do it again the next week. We know the outcome. We might not feel comfortable in that area. Comfort is a funny word, really, because in essence, that is comfortable. Comfortable is code word for misery for a lot of us, because we know what we want is just that little step outside the comfort zone. But unfortunately, most of us kind of push there because of the fear. So I like to think I'm the guy to help you push through that fear. Today, basically, what we're doing is I've got a videographer and a photographer, Kurt and Alex, who are following me about to kind of just show you guys into a little bit of what it's like in my lifestyle, which is actually quite simple. There's nothing much to it. A lot of people ask how I stay in shape, how I get so much done, how I have good relationships with people, how I stay calm, make good decisions, that kind of thing, how I inspire others. There's not really that much to it. It actually lead a pretty simple lifestyle, but I make sure that every day I do the things that I'm committed to, like my health. I make sure I eat a really decent breakfast every day. I make sure I eat greens with every meal. I make sure I drink water. I make sure I exercise every day. I make sure that I spend time with or appreciate the people and the things, if you call, well, I like to call my cats people, But I love spending time with them every day because they're an important part of my life. You know, you have to give them love and affection, just like the people around you, your friends and your family. You have to send them messages. You have to, you know, give the little bits to them. And I just wanted to invite people into kind of my world and just show you a little bit about my story and just a little bit. Like, we're getting some shots done which are trying to be as organic as possible. We don't really want to stage them as such. There's a couple of things that we'll have to stage, but more so just want to get the rawness of this, get it unstage, unscripted, kind of just with the flow, you know. So that's kind of where we're going with this today. This morning was kind of a typical Thursday morning, up very early, 5 o'clock, down for some meditation, have a cup of coffee, a little bit of relaxation before we start the day coaching. Help some of our strength clients this morning, do some heavy lifts, gain their confidence back, you know, get their sort of self-esteem up, which is what we do every day within the Total Fitness Tribe and what I do online as well. Right guys, good job on that set, let's get moving. So that coaching brings a lot of satisfaction to me and giving back to people, and it really helps start my morning off positive as well. I'm big on morning routines and making sure that I get up early and do the things that matter. So from coaching, we came back and had a really decent breakfast and prep for the day. I always kind of have the same breakfast: eggs, kale, avocado. It's full of good fats, it's full of protein. You've got your greens in there, everything which is going to prime you for the day, which is really important. Then obviously we have got to add coffee to the mix and have a really good cup of specialty coffee and have some kitten cuddle time and some study. Study's important because, you know, you've got to be able to expand your mind. You've got to grow. In order to be happy, you've got to grow. And you can do that little something every day, regardless of whether it's 10, 15 minutes, whatever, that little something to just read a little bit, study a little bit, just expand your perspective on all kinds of things. At the minute I'm reading a Tony Robbins book on money and wealth, and you know, you've got to expand your mindset, not just on money, but on anything that you're studying, on mindset, on calm, on relationships, on love, on perspective, on anything. You've got to be able to expand that. So the daily study is a really important thing for me. From the study, we're just now heading down to the beach, where we're going to shoot some sort of shots, just some random shots. I'm going to shoot my daily boom video as well, which I do every day. So it's pretty simple for this morning. From then we're going to go back. I'm going to train myself with my mate Steve. We're going to get some heavy lifting in, which is what I do twice a week for my strength training. And it's basically the simple things that we do, just done over a consistent period of time, work wonders. And that's how we progress in life. We progress by doing the simple things consistently. So we make sure we eat well every day, that little bit. We make sure we expand the mind, broaden the perspective every day. We make sure we sweat and work out every day. We make sure that we appreciate those around us, send a little appreciation message or whatever every day. Something to give back every day and something to give to yourself every day. That done over a continuous period of time will just equal a lot of success in a lot of areas. Not success when I mean like big car, big house, massive bank account. That could be a side effect of it, but it's success in the 4 areas of life: your personal power, your health, you know, your personal productivity, your business, your career, your job, your study, your personal perspective on how you view the world, your personal calm, satisfaction within yourself, your choices, your control, and also the play side of things, how you are with your relationships in your life, with those closest friends, family, loved ones. And that all those 4 areas you need in order to have true success. You can't just have success in one of them, because that's not true success, because you'll fail in the others. You've got to give all of them kind of equal attention to make sure that they really do shine for you and that you can leave fulfilled, because there's a difference between happiness and fulfillment. Like, people say, I just want to be happy, but like, if I was to give you like a nice bit of your favorite cake or chocolate or whatever now, and a few £100 cash, you would be quite happy, but that wouldn't fulfill you. You've got to learn the art of fulfillment and learn what really makes you fulfilled on a daily basis, like looking after yourself and contributing to others as well. So that's basically what I try and do on a daily basis. The little simple things done quite consistently to equal success in those 4 areas. You gotta look after your hips. You've got to look after your hips. Kettlebell swings is one of those movements that you should be doing frequently because it helps. Steve, 10 seconds, mate. Massively helps the hips. Unbelievable for lower back strength and integrity. Steve, keep going. You gotta look after those hips. The most important things you can do. Rest. Nice. So every week I do a squat at least twice a week. Some variation of a squat. Squat's like the king of all exercises because there's nothing more terrifying than getting under the bar and squatting some heavy weight. It's a full body exercise. It's a movement pattern. It's something that you do, right? As a kid, you did this all the time, right? You were in this position as a kid. As an adult, we can't even get there because we're stuck like human chairs. We're like this. We wouldn't even be able to sit with us on the floor because we very rarely get there. So when you're wanting to train and exercise for life, think about movement patterns. That's what I personally do, is think about a squat. It's an everyday move. You squat down, you squat up. Yeah, and you should be able to do that without pain and quite fluently, if you will. So the squat's really, really important in that. And also it works every other major muscle group as well. And you'll know that when you get under a bar and squat heavy, it's scary as shit. But it works. And the simple thing is you could just do squats heavy during the week and you'd be in good shape. It's unbelievable the transfer to everything else and how much body fat they burn, how much they bring up your testosterone, how much they make you feel good and feel strong. And at the end of the day, they are helping with the hip integrity, which, like I mentioned on the swings, it's so important to look after your hips because at old age, the last thing you want is bad hips. Steve, it's time. So, you've had a little bit of a look into my kind of lifestyle and more, and if you'd like to live with a little bit more clarity and peace and strength and abundance in certain areas, with more joy and more happiness within yourself, then click the link below for a free copy of my book, How to Stop Overthinking. It's a great start. It's free. I'm not asking any money off you, but if you click the link, you get it for free. You'll also get some emails off us in your inbox, if that's okay with you. Thought I'd email you and keep in touch. Reach out anytime. This video's just been a little insight into kind of how I run my mornings and how I've went from a very anxious, overworked plumber with a string of failed relationships and anxiety issues to very clear, quite concise, in control momentum coach, if you will, you know, to help you get momentum and really move forward in your life, because that's what it's about. It's about getting that momentum going and quieting that overthinking that we're all struggling with, that sabotage that goes on inside of us. You know, it's fucking hard. It's fucking hard some days, and with a struggle, everyone needs that little bit of help. The person that's kind of been through some rough patches and some areas that I can kind of empathize with, and just to meet you on a level that's going to help you and serve you in some way. So click the link somewhere below this video. It'll be a button or in the comments, and you'll get a direct link to my How to Stop Overthinking book. Free copy for you, okay? Hope you've enjoyed this. Please share this video if you think it's been entertaining or worthwhile in any way. I hope it's helped you in some way. Peace.